Kate's Kitchen. Prior to the pandemic, I had been to Kate's Kitchen only a handful of times. It was not part of my beaten path, though I enjoyed the old school vibe it had. A friend suggested I meet him there for a late breakfast on a Saturday morning last fall, and the trajectory of my present life changed because of it. I decided to take reference photos while I was there to make extra art, just to have more options and choices, even though I was just about finished with over 20 artworks for this cafe series. I talked to the guy who looked like he was in charge to ask if I could take a reference photo. And that's when I met Hasan. I showed him some of my previous work, and he readily agreed. He later stopped by our table and said he was looking for an artist to do a mural on the empty wall. He showed me the numerous artworks he had already acquired from local artists, and he mentioned he would like something that depicts a vintage San Francisco. I took my pictures and went home to think about what I could propose to him. I visualized a large sepia-toned mural because he already had a huge full-color mural on the opposite wall, and I knew he wanted detail, and the interior designer in me knew a monotone color with eye-catching busyness and a golden shimmer in the light would suit the overall look and feel of the place very well. That's when I saw a wood-burned piece in my mind's eye. One of my favorite versions of San Francisco Past is the documentary made 4 days before the earthquake by the Miles brothers, called A Trip Down Market Street. I took stills from this film and used the special parts to inspire the pyrography framework, starting with the ferry building as the central focal point and building from there. I pored over photos from the San Francisco Historical Society, the archives online, and whatever I could find on the web. I wanted to be sure to show as many walks of life from that time period as I could. The entire thing had to be rendered in pencil first, and I'll admit that I drew and erased and redrew that center tower over and over again before I decided it was the right scale and place for it. Once I had the main focal points done, I continued to add details. From proposal to installation, it will have been a 6-month process. In the meantime, I kept in touch with Hasan and had lots more visits to the cafe, acquiring a few favorite dishes along the way, like the very satisfying Southwestern-style eggs for breakfast, and the delicious fried crispy chicken sandwich with a light and tasty red cabbage slaw for lunch. The service there is impeccable, with constant coffee refills and friendly staff everywhere to serve the happy crowds who show up for the dependable good food at reasonable prices. I am pleased to report that the artwork is finished and has been picked up from my studio by Hasan and a friend for installation. I will be at the artist reception coming up on Saturday, May 6th from 1 to 4 p.m. during the Lower Haight Art Walk in San Francisco, with my other pyrography works like local home renditions and Victorian pollinator parlor ornaments. My cafe series is complete. Focusing on my past in San Francisco and the consequences of the pandemic for this work, I am now excited to have this last place be part of my present, and the anticipation of more art, more fun, and more world-class city focus in my future.